life's not working out for you, you can make some adjustments. Hi, I'm Coach Ricardo Miller, and I'm so glad you're joining us for our week of talk with Brittany Clark. We've been talking about purpose. We've been talking about setback. We've been talking about resilience. And now, this morning, I want you to get up thinking today is the day the Lord has made. I'm going to rejoice and be glad in it. No matter what's going on in your life right now, you've made it to the day. And knowing that September is filled with promises, I want you to get up with anticipation, going out of the house, believing God for favor. Favor from the east, west, north, and south. Tell that dumb devil he should have taken you out in August because now you're in September. Come on. You are going to make the rest of the year the best of the year. Miss Brittany, welcome back to Effective Living.
Good morning, Coach. It's been a great week.
I know, and we're on a roll. And Brittany, this ain't your cup of tea. This is not like your thing. Talk to us about that. You stepped out of the boat. Was there any nervousness? A lot of people would have declined. When Miller calls and says, hey, let's do a week of talk, you showed up and says, let's do it. What was going on in the back of your head? Have there been some nervousness? Be honest with our viewers and tell them what you did to get to this point of sticking with it.
You know, being totally honest, there was some nervousness, but I've done this before with you, and it's been a lot of fun. And I was actually just thinking about this. Sometimes when we do things, they're not always things that we want to do, but they are healthy for us. They're helping us step out of our comfort zone. And, you know, sometimes you have to stop thinking about it and just do it.
Just do it. That's the key word this morning. Let's start there. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Listen, guys, I'm talking about do it afraid. Remember, if God be for you, who can be against you? Brittany, we're talking about daily habits for success. I know when you connected with me, I talk about some practices that you should be engaged in. One of the practices I do is I'm a big Audible book listener. Audible book listener. I put in 3-4 hours a day, and a lot of people wonder, how do I get my hair renewed? Well, I found that there was a lot of junk in the trunk.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of mess in my head, and over the years, I've been trying to figure out, how do I get rid of small thinking? How do I get rid of bad habits? How do I get rid of doubt and fear and insecurities? Whew. Well, I found that knowledge was the way. I needed to get the right information in, and I need to get the wrong information out. Brittany, today we're talking about daily habits for success, because most people, Brittany, don't realize that their lives became a mess by their daily habits that's been bad.
Yeah.
And the people who have an incredible life, their lives have become incredible by the healthy habits they have incorporated into their life. Now, I haven't always had healthy habits. I'm going to give some, and you could give some as well in a minute, Brittany. I have a TV addiction. I would bench watch. And then I listened to Miles Monroe, and Miles talk about his mother saying, if you spend so much time watching TV, you'll never be on TV. And so I said, you know what, Miller, you can get past that. Another one is, man, I like snacking. My wife still tells me I snack too much. Okay. And it really is not good for me, but I still find myself doing that. I procrastinate. Yeah. Coach Ricardo Miller procrastinate. I procrastinate. But I'm working on it. I'm not as bad as a lot of people, but it's not about judging people. It's about what I know I should be doing. Okay. Another one is, I am not as money driven as I should. You know, money rule the world. And I mean, if you ain't got no money, you're going to be limited. And I'm in business. And a lot of times I am not so strong about addressing the money subject as I should. Now, believe you, I'm so much better in this year and last year than I was in years past. But these were some of the bad habits that kept me from succeeding. Brittany, over the years, have you looked back over this year? Have you looked back at some things you said, boy, coach, these are a couple of the habits that have really kept me back. I want you to share a few of them with our audience. But audience, for those of you, we're not going to be the only ones coming clean, y'all. We're not going to just be the only ones talking about ourselves. Be honest, put it in the comment section. Put what has been holding you back. For me, procrastination. For me, it's snacking too much. For me, being a little afraid to talk about the money. Listen, another one is, man, self-doubt. I had more people telling me, bro, you're killing it, and you talking like you ain't killing it. Okay? I had self-doubt, insecurities, man. I struggled with insecurities for the longest. So go ahead and put it in the comment section, and we're going to talk about how do we break some of that. Brittany, what are some you find yourself dealing with over the years, or even this year?
You know, you mentioned snacking, Coach. One of the things that I had to break up with was candy, because I've never been a huge on TV, but if there's candy in front of me, I will eat it all in one sitting. I had to break up with candy and say, I'm not even going to put myself in the presence of it, because if I want to stick to my health goals, I'm not going to do this anymore. But there was a little bit of the breakup with the TV too, because I think, we get into that mode where we just want to mentally check out, and it's easy to just turn the TV on and not answer the phone, not talk to anyone, just listen to it on repeat. But also another big one for me was I was under the deceitful thinking of if I was just go with the flow, then I could help everyone and get all the things done that I wanted to do. And I had to learn to develop a more strict schedule with more boundaries so that I could actually get done the things that I needed to do that would take care of me and my mental health.
So good. So good. What were social media any of yours? Because I look back at myself and I'm like, that's one that I am trying to claim I'm mastering.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't have too big of a grip on me that is hurting me, because I do use it for my business and for establishing my brand. But social media is one, man. Social media would eat up your time. Woo!
Yeah.
And so, like TV, I think social media has replaced TV in regards to the time consumption we take of it. Because I think a few years ago I read somewhere that the Americans watch about 5 hours of TV a day.
Where do they have the time?
Yeah, I know, right? But here's the deal: it sneaks up on you real easy, man. 5 hours. Listen, you can go on TikTok and lose an hour without even knowing it. I mean, because those 30 seconds, you'll be watching reels, and next thing you know, 30 minutes is gone.
Yep.
Next thing you know, an hour is gone. And so I tell people, when you start looking at your habits, Brittany, when I started watching bench watching, I love a good bench watch. I love a good series. But I told myself I'll treat myself like once a month.
Yeah.
And it's okay to treat yourself, or everything with moderation, right? And so I said I'll treat myself, because here's what I learned, Brittany. My hour is valuable. Okay? I'm a professional. And so when you start thinking, watch this, Brittany, you would not, somebody said, well, Brittany, could you do this for me for $20 an hour? And I've met people who say, I wouldn't do it for $20 an hour. But you watch Netflix for 6 hours for free.
Right.
For free. That's 6 hours of $20 is what? That's $120.
Yeah.
And you just made money. You just added value back to you versus taking something from you. So when I started realizing, hey, Ricardo, you cannot turn on the TV every day. Ricardo, you cannot watch TV every day. And then I had to learn, hey, with social media, I'm like, hey, listen, make sure the majority of your effort, 90% of it, is professional while you're on social media, because it will suck your time, and your time is valuable. I teach a day wasted is a day you'll never have again. So
Yep.
It's all about second, minutes, and hours. And so when I hear people say, I don't have enough time, I often lean towards it's either two things. It's poor management, or it's just not a strong priority.
Right.
If you manage your time, you'll be amazed how much time you have. And whatever we make a priority, we normally make time for.
Hmm.
You see? So it falls into those two. Talk to me about this whole process of one, you found that candy was a thing for you. You found that these things were not good for you, but then in small steps, because today I want to talk about small steps for changes that will take us to where we're trying to go in regards to growth and success and winning. A lot of people don't want small steps, but small steps is the way. Talk to us about those small steps or the little things you found yourself having to do to get you from not repeating the same habit. Like for me, Brittany, I had another poor people habit. I call it a poor people habit, is because do you know that the majority of things by the register are things you don't need?
Yeah.
When I mean, go to a store, the majority of stuff at the register are things they're trying to push to sell you, but you really don't need, and it's the most high markup stuff and almost unnecessary stuff. But there's stuff that catches your eyes, and so for me, I made a rule: I don't pick up stuff at the register. You know, the little soda machine, the magazines, the candy, the whatever it is around the register, I don't do those. I started there. Then another one was I like Snickers and M&Ms. Oh my God, those two, Snickers and M&M. Here's what I don't do. You'll never see me go in the store and buy Snicker or buy M&M. Guess what I'll do? If you give me one, I'll eat it. If I go to the church and they have it on the counter, I'll eat it. But I don't buy Snickers. And those were ways I pulled back. I don't even buy sodas. You will never see me go in the store and buy a Coke soda. Now, if I'm at your event, you have Coke soda, I'll drink it. And see, that helps the moderation. For you, what were you thinking as a part of the process for small increment steps that helped you to navigate some of the things?
Well, when I was starting this process of discovering my purpose, I kept thinking back to something that someone told me once, and it was you spend your time, your money, your resources on the things that are most important to you. So I realized when I was binge watching TV, I wasn't actually really paying attention to it. So instead of new shows that, when people asked me about them later, I was like, oh yeah, I've seen that. And they asked me a specific detail. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Now I rewatch, I play shows. If I feel the need to turn the TV on, I play shows that I have seen before and I listen to them in the background while I clean. Or instead of turning on a show, I turn on a podcast or an Audible book or something like that. If I feel the need to have candy, I kind of do what you do. I eat it if somebody gives it to me, but I don't go buy it for myself. I also don't go looking for reasons to buy it because that was the other thing I kept getting into the habit of. Oh, if I go buy it for so-and-so, I'll just get an extra one and I'll have that one.
Yeah.
But I quickly learned that I don't know if it's a worldly problem, but definitely in America, we have an over consuming problem of overconsumption. Everything is so easily available. We believe, or we're into the habit of, we should just eat or consume everything that's free or buy one, get one free. Or if I can reach out and grab it, I should, because I might not get to tomorrow. Yeah. But not everything that is available is for us.
Not everything that's available is for us. If you can get that revelation, that's really, really good. Let me ask you this, and I want to talk about small steps for big changes. I want to talk about what you've seen others do. Let's talk about others, because I've been using this term chip, 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 chip. How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? But a lot of people are impatient, Brittany. A lot of people are impatient. They want it now. They want it now. And it's a struggle. I had to learn that effective living is not a sprint. It's a marathon. So I tell people, just find a good, healthy rhythm. Take care of your faith with God. Take care of your family. Manage your finances. Take care of your health. Take care, the fun factors about your life. One before you know it, you look back at your life. You say, "Man, I'm pretty nicely organized and coming up." Versus you're running after one thing. You're like trying to take care of career, and then you lose your health, or you're trying to take care of your health and you lose your child, and you're trying to take care of your money, and you're trying to take care of your health, but you lose your faith. And I'm like, hey, small increments. Just discipline yourself to do the small things. What's your view on doing the small things consistently?
Well, one thing that has helped me specifically is I set up a very basic schedule or a very basic routine. I have specific times to clean and exercise and go to work, obviously, and go to church and do social events. And I started adding in minor things. I add something into my schedule and I do that for a week, and then I add something else into my schedule. And then once I'm into a good rhythm and I've added in things that will benefit my schedule, then I just keep adding more things in small increments. And like you said, I'm running the marathon and things are coming at me that are not things that I want in my life, and I'm able to handle them because I've got everything is in a good routine, in a good schedule, and I'm less phased by the tragedies of life.
Because the tragedies of life will come, ladies and gentlemen. Life will throw you a curveball you did not see coming. But if you're managing well the pacing, you'll do a lot better with the endurance of getting to your destination. But it's not even about the destination, it's about the journey. And it's learning how to pace yourself with looking at how do I schedule? And I heard you use that. Looking at that schedule and then tell yourself, don't set yourself up to make it overwhelming. But here's what I know. You have to ask God to help you to increase your capacity. So you start to realize, Brittany, I have to manage my son, I have to manage my job, I have to manage my faith, I have to manage my money, and just I'm tired sometimes, right? And you were like, oh my God, that's just a lot. But it really isn't. It's just a lot because that's all you have been developing. But please note that there's another level of those five where you end up having a small business, where you end up with a spouse, where you end up with the joining an association, where you end up promoted on your job to supervise other people, where you end up having to go ahead and take care of jury duties or having to assist with something that is a mandatory assistance outside of what you would traditionally plan. And somebody said, that's too much. To whom much is given, much is required. All you have to do is, watch this, you manage the five well. If you manage the five well, you will move over to managing seven well. Well, managing seven well will move over to managing eight well. Managing eight well will move to 10 well. So I was talking to someone the other day and I said, Elon Musk has like three different companies that are $1 billion plus companies, multi-billion-dollar companies. $1 billion companies. I know people who are struggling to manage $1,000 a week life. Do you see what I'm saying, right? And so here's how I teach myself. I told myself, it's not too much. It's God help me to do small things well to manage more.
Right.
You see, I want to be on city council. I want to run a business. I want to have a happy marriage. I want to take care of my health. I want to have I want to have a ministry. I want to serve in my church. You can do all that God has placed on your heart if you manage yourself well and you do small things well and say
Mm-hmm.
no to things that does not connect with your purpose.
Right.
Get that? So, Brittany, the lesson of the day for us is how can I break this up into small parts? Every day I send out a text the people nurturing the relationship. Every week, I try to do something to enhance my marriage. Every week, I try to do something to make money. Every week, I try to do something to take care of my health. Every week, I try to do something to renew my mind, to grow and develop in my head. Every week, I try to lean into my spiritual connection with God. Every week. So, what happens is, every week, I'm getting a little bit better. And after a year, Brittany be like, man, he's just lucky. No, it ain't luck. You get a little bit closer and you see that intentional, small steps being worked on a daily basis that's becoming bigger over time. Now, let me ask you this. Do you ever feel overwhelmed that it's too much? Talk to our viewing audience about how do you calm down and not let it break you when you feel like, boy, this is really big, this is too much. Parenting could be like too much sometimes. Career could be too much sometimes. Your faith could be too much sometimes. Relationship could be too much sometimes. What's your view?
Usually, this might sound silly, but I have coping mechanisms. If I feel like it's too much, then sometimes I have to take a step back and I have to, make sure, are all of the things that I are normally do, are they all done? Because usually if I'm feeling overwhelmed, something is off. I'm dysregulated because I'm off my normal schedule, or something happened, a tragedy of life. I got in a car accident a couple of weeks ago, and that was a little jarring, and I had to navigate my schedule a little differently with a rental car. And, that can, having your schedule thrown off, it can seem like, your life is out of whack. But in reality, you just need to backpedal a little bit to get back on the correct path.
Backpedal a little bit. I like that. Backpedal a little bit. The truth is, stuff will happen that's beyond our control. Brittany, I'm so appreciative of you spending this time with us. I'm talking, you're sharing, people are putting comments in the comment section. This is a different type of week, but thank you guys for hanging out with us. Join us tomorrow for our last session together. You don't want to miss it. This has been a full week with Brittany Clark and Ricardo Miller, and we want you to look at what we're saying and find truth for you. Because while we're talking to you on these lives, we're talking to ourselves as well. God bless you. See you tomorrow, same time. Have a great day, everybody. Love you guys. Bye, Brittany.